Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the ultimate airplane slash jet trailer build, video number 5. This is your first time here, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. When you do hit the subscribe button, don't forget to hit the bell. I think that looks like a bell, so you get notified when I release new videos. Also, don't forget to smash that like button, give the video a thumbs up, and video number 5. All right, guys, so we got some nice weather today, so I figured, hey, let's work on the trailer a little bit. Nobody's around right now, so I figured I would take some time and sort out the next thing that I want to do. So the next thing I really want to build is that shelf up top, the carry-all shelf. And I've been doing some kind of rough dimensions here, some mock-ups and stuff. And I've kind of come up with couple ideas. So what I was thinking of initially was, if we come roughly straight down from this vent, that brings us to about here. Then if we line up a piece of paper, it's not really in line, but I think I have a tape measure with me, but this is just some rough measurements to begin with, so I think that looks like it's roughly about there. So if we build our shelf, I think a tape measure might work better here. So let's measure this distance from the corner, 5 1/4 inches. Oh, we were close. 5 1/4 inches. Roughly about there. And then we'll just run the tape measure across. That'll help give us a better visualization of how much space we have. Okay, so if we do the shelf like that, you know, when I look up and figure it out like that, it doesn't look like it would be that deep, but it's quite deceiving, right? So if you mark it out on the bottom shelf here, you can see that there's quite a bit of space to throw junk and stuff up there. So I think that's going to work out good. I'm just thinking about how to construct it. I'm probably going to do it very similar to what I did down here. So probably just do 2x2s on the wall, 2x2s coming out here. We will lay a flat piece on there, and then we'll probably put a piece of 3/4 inch ply or something like that, something similar all the way across the front to create our lip on the front. So I'm just going to play with some mock-ups of this stuff, and we'll see how things progress as I get into it. Alright guys, so one of the things I want to take care of before I build a shelf and possibly block a little bit of this vent is the slots in the vent are far too large for our bugs here. So I'm going to pull this vent out and put some metal screen in the vent. I'll show you how I do that, but that's one thing I want to get done. Obviously, if we're butting up into this and covering it a little bit, we're not going to be able to easily access this this vent later on. So I want to make sure that we do what we need to do. There we go. There's what the inside looks like. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this vent cover on the screen. I'm going to trace it out with around the perimeter with a paint marker, and then I'm going to use my heavy-duty scissors to cut it out, and I'm going to cut it out on the inside of the paint line. Then all I'm going to do is just stuff that screen in there. It should be a nice tight fit, and I'll show you guys the finished product. Alright guys, there's the finished product. I'm probably going to add just a couple drops of shoe goop in 4 spots there, just to make sure that the screen doesn't move, but happy with that. So we'll just get that screwed back into place, and now we can stop those skeeters from coming in the middle of the night if I'm planning on sleeping in the trailer. So alright, so we've got the wall mounting pieces installed. And it took a little while to figure this out. Initially I went with 26 inches from the workbench and I was going to do that to the top of the shelf. When I actually put this side piece of wood up there, I was like, man, that looks pretty low, so I just moved it. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but just moved it to the top. But I think that'll be good. Obviously, it's hard to tell on the camera, but you know, I think that'll be a decent amount of space. So anyways, next thing I'm going to do is, I think, find a board that's nice and straight that's going to run all the way across the front. Now, I would love to cut that as one piece of plywood, but I don't think the piece I have is big enough. Actually, I know it's not big enough. I've got some 1/2 inch plywood that I'm going to use for the top part of that, or like the actual shelf piece. I think it's only 4 feet by 4 feet, so I've got to do this in 2 different pieces. So I'm building this a little bit different than I did the workbench. So what I'm going to do is put that flat piece across the front. I might put 2 brace pieces across this way because we're going to have it in 2 separate pieces. I might not. We'll see how it all works out. And anyways, yeah, so I got to get this this piece figured out first here. So we need a nice straight piece of wood. All right, guys, still using leftover wood from the wood pile. This is awesome. Found a nice straight 2x2 to use as my cross member. So that's what the shelf looks like. So if I'm working here, yeah, I mean, it's there, but it's not too bad. The only way I'm going to hit it is if I really bend over and smack my head. So that's awesome. All right, guys, there is the carry-all shelf. I think it looks really good. It just kept adding and adding and adding to it, and I can almost, well, I could hang off of this right now, but it might move a little bit. But so yeah, it's going to hold a lot of weight. So there's kind of the construction of it. Everything was really good, but what made it a little bit stronger was adding this piece down here in each corner. Now, if I was to do this again, I would have just used a 2x4 across the face. That would have been really good, and I actually could have notched the 2x4 to fit on that little bottom channel, and then face it with this this deck board or fence board or whatever that is. So this is cedar. I might just keep this the way it is and just put some Varathane on it because I kind of like the look of it, and that's all you'll see. So I might paint it gray. Probably gray is what I'll end up with, but I think it looks good. We'll have to see what the outcome is. I haven't done the plywood on the top yet because I really don't feel like doing that tonight, hauling my table saw out and all that stuff. So anyways, that's as far as we need to go tonight. I'm going to vacuum this up and clean it up, and making good progress with this. I did, basically my height here was determined by my space to my vent. So I could have went higher, but right now we've got 1.5 inches of space on the back side. And if I do mount a light underneath here, like this exact, these lights up here, these LED ones, it'll protrude. You'll see it by about 1/4 inch. So it'll be nicely hidden underneath there if we do put a light underneath there. So anyways, guys, cleaning up now, and that's progress. All right, guys, so I wanted a little bit more shiny finish on my floor, and the kit, I forget what it's called, but it's the kit for the floor system that we used on the trailer, is like $200, and does a single car garage. I don't want to spend $200. Still have roughly half a pail of this Varathane stuff that I put on the ceiling and put on the countertop here, and I've seen a couple other guys do it, so I'm just going to roll this out on the floor. Just going to use the roller here, and it might take a little while with this little roller, but I have it, so why not use it, and hopefully get a little bit more shine and durability out of this floor, and we'll see how it looks. Hopefully it works. My fingers are definitely crossed, but I'm just going to give the floor a quick sweep out, and then we'll lay this stuff down. right, guys, so it's definitely a lot more shiny, which is kind of the look I was hoping for. So I still have about 1/3 of a pail. I'm probably going to put one more coat on, but I've got to let this dry for a couple hours. So we'll come back and check it in a couple hours and see how it's doing. All right, guys, first coat is pretty much dry, and it's definitely doing what I wanted it to do. I think I've got enough to do one more coat, so I'm going to do that. I was thinking maybe I'll start at the front just in case I run out. Yeah, maybe I'll do that because there's going to be more traffic in this area, so I'll probably have enough, but yeah, I'm going to start at the front, work my way backwards. All right, guys, happy with the results. It actually worked out really well. I was a little bit worried after putting the second coat on that it would be slippery, but there's still a little bit of raised, like where the paint flecks are. It's a little bit raised still. Maybe you can see it there up close. But this is more of the look that I was going for. So definitely happy that I did this. I'm happy that I bought that big can of urethane and had as much left over as I did, that I was able to do this. So thumbs up, worked good. Yeah, not a whole lot to say about it, but that is totally the look I was going for, and I'm extremely happy with it. So it over the next week or so, it should harden up nicely to a nice hard finish. And you know, right now with my shoes on, it's got rubber soles or whatever. It's nice and grippy. Hopefully when it's wet, it's still reasonable. But worked good. You know, if you look at the finish on the workbench here, which has been about a week now since I've done it. It's nice and solid. So that's it. So cold front moves in to tomorrow's Monday, Thanksgiving Day. Cold front moves in on Tuesday. Starts to get crappy outside, so I really don't think I'm going to be doing much more on the trailer. But I got lots accomplished, happy with everything we got accomplished, and it's great. So hopefully we have one more flying day this year. That would be awesome. I mean, more would be great, but hopefully we get some nice weather and we can actually get out flying one more time, do another journey on the airplane trailer. Next big things that I want to get accomplished here is the shelf up there. I want to get that finished. Want to get this painted gray at least. I don't think I'm going to paint the underside. I don't think I'm going to paint the top side. Just paint this faceplate gray is going to be good. I might get that done tomorrow, maybe today, because that's easy to do. And then the other thing I want to do is get the carpet for the tray. Pretty much the unanimous vote from everybody was put carpet on there, so I'll check that out. And the carpet comes in 12-foot widths. So we're 6 feet 4 inches across, and I think my length is okay. So length, we are exactly 6 feet. Width here, we are 6 feet 4 inches across. So that actually works out good. If they come in 12-foot widths, that means that the length this way will be 6 feet. And I was actually thinking about cutting the shelf off a couple inches. And number one, the reason to do that is so it clears the plug here. Second reason, obviously, is so that it fits the carpet better. So anyways, if we were to get 13 feet of carpet, and it would be 12 feet wide, that means technically we could cover 2 shelves with the carpet, which would be good, because then we'd be about 5 feet 10 inches or something like that if we cut that shelf down a little bit. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And that carpet's available, I believe, at Lowe's. I think that's going to be about $140 because it's like $10 a foot or something. So anyways, those are kind of the two big things that I want to get done: shelf, carpet on there. And as weather allows, we'll get that stuff done. So. All right, guys, so we pretty much have the worst combination here that we're going to get with the trailer floor. So it's been raining outside. I've got my Crocs on. They're wet on the bottom. These are the worst shoes possible. Oh, yeah. And she's a wee bit slippery. A wee bit slippery in the Crocs. Oh, well. I guess it's worth it to have the nice shiny floor. Alright guys, so it is Thanksgiving Monday today, and I've got a little bit of time this afternoon. Step number one, we're going to try and get this front shelf cut. So I'm just going to measure these two pieces individually. Unlike the cabinet, the workbench top, you know, it's not super critical that it fits beautifully because it's just a shelf. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm just going to take the measurements, cut one side, put it in, cut the other side. And it's starting to rain. I don't know if I'm regretting not putting sand on the floor. I don't know. I guess I could put one more coat down with some sand. Does it matter? I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see. Alright guys, material for the shelf is all cut. I'm just going to screw it in from the top side into the 2x2s. Once I'm done screwing it in, I'll see if I have to put a support across the middle. I don't think I do, because there's not a very big span there, but if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. Alright guys, there it is. Give you a side shot here so you can see the distance difference. So it's back of about 6 inches, 8 inches, something like that. I like it. I think I'll like it better when the trim pieces are all done and stuff, and this is painted gray, but honestly right now I don't know if I'm totally sold on the open concept like that. It's probably going to be one of those things that I'm going to use or try a couple times, so it might, you know, I'm going to leave it like this for now. We'll see how it works next season, and I can totally see myself putting a face on there with, you know, 3 cabinet doors or a face that comes down or something like that. So, but it'll work for now. Again, don't know if it's totally going to stay, but at least that's done for now. All right, guys, we are happy today. I'm happy today. It's cold outside. I'm not happy about the cold outside, but I am happy that I've got this lovely heater that we've had for a long time, and I just fired it up and took the edge off in the trailer. Yes, it's an open flame kerosene jet fuel heater, but it does take the nice edge off, so it's a little bit manageable in here. I did get my flashing order. I'll show you guys what this stuff ended up looking like. All right, so this is basically what I ended up getting. So we've got one piece, right? As I mentioned in my video, it's like 10.5 inches across with a little bevel, so that bevel should be about 11 degrees or something like that. So this all should line up with the trailer nice. The big piece underneath, that's for the front right there. Okay, that's where that's for. These little pieces are for the roof wall junction. I've got I think 4 pieces of that stuff, and we've got a 45 and a 45 on there. So anyways guys, I'm gonna get these unpacked and we'll see about installing these things. All right guys, here's a little trial fit for you. It looks awesome how it's gonna fit up there. All right, so I'm definitely not a metal worker. I'm not done up there because I'm going to tuck another piece behind. But we've got the wide piece, the corner piece. I've installed this section here. Now the nice thing is I can screw into the studs on the side, on the bottom portion here, right? Just follow where the wall studs are, and then also screw into the top. So everything is nice and solid, and we don't need a ton of screws as well. So basically one full piece, so 10 feet fits, and then I've just got to cut that back piece back there. This side, I'm probably going to put a full piece to see how far it comes, and then I'll do my shorter piece over here. But it's not too bad. One thing that I'm confused on and not really sure how to do is my mitered corners. So I might just leave that open like that. Probably will. Maybe I'll use one of these pieces as a test piece just to see. But I don't really know what I'm doing on these corners. So initially I'm going to leave it open like this, but that might change. All right, so the right side of the trailer is done all the way to the back. I'm happy with the results, looks good. I actually couldn't take this piece off because when I put the lacquer on the roof, the polyurethane, it glued these pieces together. So that's totally fine. I'll probably put one more screw in there, and but everything's nice and solid. Now I did do a little bit of a miter corner in there, so better than I had before. I had to figure out the angle and stuff. Just because the trailer's not square, this doesn't really line up well, and I didn't run this piece long enough, but I'm fine with that. The black tape you see on there is because this piece just is close to touching the wires. So I just wanted to make sure I had a little bit of extra protection there, and we'll put one screw when we're done the other side in the center, and that'll push that cap all the way nice and tight. So anyways, that's one side done, and next is the other side. All right guys, it's the next day, and as much as I like that heater, it makes it stink in here, and it also is a moist heat because it's an open flame. So I have this other heater that's actually from work that I borrowed. Partly the reason I need a heater in here for at least about a week or a few days is the floor is really not curing very well, because I did that this whole floor setup with the Varathane over top just before it got cold. So that back section specifically, partly because I went really thick down there, is not curing very well. So I've had this running for about an hour, and it's nice and toasty in here. I just went to my travel trailer and got this fan just to get some air circulating, because I want the warm air, which is obviously going to go up. I want it to be circulating to warm up the floor. So anyways, I'm going to set that up and leave it running for at least about 3 or 4 days. All right guys, so we've got all the trim up on the sides, and that's what I did for the openings for the cables there. I think it looks good. I really didn't know what else to do. I mean, I could have like tucked it underneath the cable, but that's just a nice opening. The wires aren't touching anything. It's nice and solid, and works good. So both sides are done. I'm happy with the way things worked out. I spent a little bit more time working on this miter. What I actually did was cut this one now on the other side. I cut that piece, but worked out okay. I thought I would be able to cut this one to match it up perfectly, but I wasn't able to. But it's fine, not a big deal at all. I think it looks good. Last thing to do with the trailer and the metal trim is to do this section right here. What I'm going to do after I get this finished is I'm going to add up all the costs, and I'll review the costs with you guys just so you can see everything that I put into this trailer, how much it cost me and how much it should have cost me. So I'll cover those as well, but I'll show you what this looks like when it's done. All right guys, this piece is done. I like it. I think it turned out really nice, and finishes off that front bench section very nicely, hides all the wires. Now all of our wires are successfully hidden. I think it looks absolutely clean and finished. I love it. All right guys, so everything inside the trailer for this year is complete. I was going to put the carpet on the aircraft platform, but with it starting to get cold now, I'm probably not going to be using the trailer at all until next spring, so I'm just going to hold off on that. The other thing that I'm kind of thinking of, and my dad brought this up, was, you know, do you want to do shelves on the side and be able to walk down the center? So that's something I'm going to think about. I'm probably not going to change it up for next spring. It'd be something where I might use it for next year and then maybe change something later on. So anyways, that's possible future stuff for the trailer build. But yeah, everything's done. totally ready to use, ready to go. Obviously, we still have some D-rings to put in, but we do have a couple options now for wing storage. So I can put the root of my wing down there, hang them up like my Tudor wings would come probably to about here, and then we just use a strap on the E-track, so that's an option. The Ultra Flash wing actually fits up on the shelf. It's almost the exact same shape as the Ultra Flash wing. It's kind of funny. But we can also lay wings down on the side here, put some D-rings down on the shelf, have some bungees coming up. So we do have some options for holding wings there, holding wings on that side. Again, we can stand a bunch of them up on the end right there. So there's lots of different options. You know, when I'm actually traveling in this thing or going to the field, again, I've talked about this, but this is kind of how this is going to be set up. You know, maybe a fuel jug in the front. We're going to have spare parts there, tools there, and then just, you know, other miscellaneous stuff in the front here. But basically, we're going to have the my primary go box in the back. We're going to have the generator in the back. Any extra fuel jugs in the back. And that's what all those, the E-track on each side is for. So that gets the weight behind or over the axle, so we can do some balancing there. Spare tires, still haven't figured that out. One of my friends was just over, and I ran the idea of installing it on the other side of the back door, or the outside of the back door, and he's like, yeah, it's totally fine. He should have no issues with that. Primarily because my hinges are all greasable, right? So there's, you know, there'd be, and those hinges are designed to have things drive up them. So putting the spare tire back there isn't a terrible thing. My only downside would be actually bolting it on. So if I put it in the center, there's only one cross member that it would reach into if I use the stock mount. So anyways, just something to think about. I don't need to find a solution for the spare tire now, but we'll look at doing something in the future for sure. So that's basically the nuts and bolts of the trailer, guys. If you do have any questions about anything that I did, or any suggestions as well too, I'd love to hear the comments and the feedback, guys. List the suggestions down below. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'll put all the costs together, and we'll review that stuff, and then we'll cover that. All right, guys. So I'm going to put a screenshot up of my spreadsheet that I came up with here. And just to go over it quickly, we've got all of our parts and stuff listed on the left. We've got what it should have costed listed there, actual costs listed there, savings on the far right hand side, and then we've got totals on the bottom, and then totals without a trailer. So I'll pop that up now, and let's go through this. All right, so keep in mind all these costs are Canadian. So if you're converting this to US, right now the conversion's about 36%. So basically we've got what it should have cost on the first column there. Generally trailers in this range right now, you can get a used trailer for about $8,000. This trailer brand new is listed at about 10,000 Canadian. But I did find one online. It looks like the exact same trailer, brand new, is about $8,000. So comparatively there, I paid $3,400 for the trailer, savings of $4,600, which is pretty substantial. Yes, it's got some hail damage, but big deal. All right, next thing we have is the registration. That's a fixed cost. The floor coating, that's what it cost me. Now, insulation for the ceiling, I had that. Tape for the insulation, had that. Can foam, had that. E-track supplies, that came with the trailer. So right there is about $400 in savings, which is pretty substantial. We've got the tie downs, all those other parts you can see listed there. The white paint I had as well too, which was another substantial savings. Going down there, we've got our shore power connection, D-rings from Amazon, workbench. I'm not going to go through all these things, but that's all the supplies there. Electrical cord for the that was that heavy duty extension cord that I used to run everything, and the electrical cord light near the bottom there, that was for the what I soldered onto the LED shop light connectors. So the two padlocks where I saved $60 near the bottom, I had those. There were just extra ones that I had, and the 3/4 inch plywood, had that. dimensional lumber and miscellaneous lumber had all that stuff. So going down to the total there, guys, if I was to buy all this stuff brand new, it would have cost me about $9,800 Canadian. And if I was to, not including the trailer, the very bottom of column B there, it would have cost me an extra $1,800 and $1,839 for all the stuff that I put into the trailer. Now my actual cost total was $4,276 so far, and that was $876 in extra stuff in the trailer, which is pretty stinking good, I think. And my total savings over brand new was about $5,600, and total savings on my parts there was about $963. So all right, guys, so that's everything for the trailer build for this year. Again, I am not going to do anything else to the trailer until next spring, until I use it a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be putting the carpet in, so just put this on hold now until the springtime of 2021. If I make any changes and things like that, I might do an update video, but this essentially is the last build video or last video in the build series. So if you have any questions, comments, list them down below, guys. I will post some updates as I have them with the spare tire and all the other changes I want to make and stuff I want to do. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Thank you guys for your support and watching my videos. I do appreciate it. If you have not done so already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. It's free. If you like the video, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up button once. If you don't like the video, hit the thumbs down button, but make sure you hit it twice. And that's it, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you in the next video.